Fort Worth, Texas. A normal Tuesday afternoon turned into a scene of chaos and fear. The city, known for its calm and friendly neighborhoods, was about to witness an event that would leave a lasting impact on its residents. A routine traffic stop escalated into a high-speed chase and shootout. What began as a simple enforcement of traffic laws quickly spiraled out of control, catching everyone off guard. This left an officer critically wounded and a community shaken. The sense of security that once enveloped the neighborhood was shattered in an instant. The incident unfolded just after 2 p.m. in a quiet residential neighborhood. The streets, usually filled with the sounds of children playing and neighbors chatting, were now filled with sirens and the tension of an unfolding crisis. Officer Miguel Rivera, a 5-year veteran of the Fort Worth Police Department, pulled over a vehicle for a broken taillight. Rivera, known for his dedication and calm demeanor, had no reason to suspect that this stop would be any different from the hundreds he had conducted before. What seemed like a simple infraction quickly took a terrifying turn. The driver, instead of complying, became agitated and unpredictable. As Officer Rivera approached the car, the driver sped off. The sudden acceleration caught Rivera by surprise, but his training kicked in immediately. This ignited a dangerous pursuit through the heart of the city. The chase, which started in a quiet neighborhood, quickly moved to busier streets, endangering countless lives. Witnesses watched in disbelief as the suspect's vehicle weaved through traffic. The sight of a car speeding recklessly through familiar streets was both surreal and terrifying. The driver showed a reckless disregard for the safety of others. Pedestrians and other drivers had to swerve and jump out of the way to avoid being hit. Sirens wailed as police cars raced after the fleeing vehicle. The sound of sirens, usually a distant background noise, now dominated the air, signaling the urgency of the situation. This turned a peaceful afternoon into a scene from an action movie. The high-speed chase, with its twists and turns, was something most people had only seen on television. The chase would only escalate from there, leaving a trail of destruction and fear in its wake. Damaged vehicles, shattered glass, and the heavy presence of law enforcement painted a grim picture of the day's events. The high-speed pursuit continued onto Interstate 35, a major highway that cuts through the heart of Fort Worth. This is a major artery through Fort Worth, often bustling with traffic at all hours of the day. The suspect's vehicle reached dangerous speeds, weaving in and out of traffic with reckless abandon, narrowly avoiding collisions with other vehicles. This put countless lives at risk, as drivers were forced to swerve and brake suddenly to avoid a catastrophic accident. Witnesses described the scene as terrifying, with many fearing for their own safety as the chase unfolded. Cars swerved to avoid collisions as the suspect sped past, creating a chaotic and dangerous situation on the freeway. The sound of sirens filled the air, adding to the sense of panic and urgency as police tried to bring the situation under control. One witness, Sarah Jenkins, was driving home from work when the chase unfolded in front of her, leaving her in a state of shock. "It was like something out of a movie," she said, her voice still shaking from the adrenaline and fear. Cars were honking, people were screaming, and the entire freeway seemed to be in a state of chaos. "I've never seen anything like it," another witness remarked, still stunned by the events that had just transpired. The chase continued for several miles, the tension mounting with each passing moment. Then, the unthinkable happened. The suspect's vehicle slammed into a pickup truck, causing a chain reaction crash that involved multiple vehicles. This involved 2 other vehicles, creating a scene of utter devastation on the freeway. The freeway came to a standstill. transformed into a scene of twisted metal and shattered glass, as emergency responders rushed to the scene to assist the injured and clear the wreckage. Paramedics and firefighters worked tirelessly to help those involved, while police began their investigation into the cause of the chase and subsequent crash. News reporters quickly arrived on the scene, capturing the aftermath of the chase and providing live updates to a shocked public. Traffic was backed up for miles, with frustrated drivers waiting for hours as authorities worked to clear the scene and restore order. The suspect was eventually apprehended and taken into custody, bringing an end to the chaos that had gripped the freeway. Cleanup efforts continued well into the night, as crews worked to remove the damaged vehicles and debris from the roadway. The mood at the scene was somber, as law enforcement officers reflected on the dangerous events that had unfolded and the lives that had been put at risk. As the sun set over the freeway, a sense of calm finally began to return, marking the end of a dramatic and chaotic day. The crash brought the chase to a halt, but the danger was far from over. As officers approached the suspect's vehicle, gunfire erupted. The suspect, now identified as 28-year-old Marcus Jones, opened fire on the responding officers. A fierce shootout ensued, shattering the afternoon quiet. Bullets flew, ricocheting off vehicles and sending terrified bystanders diving for cover. Officer Rivera, the first on the scene, was caught in the crossfire. He was struck multiple times in the chest and abdomen. Despite his injuries, Officer Rivera managed to return fire, striking Jones in the leg. The shootout, though brief, left a trail of destruction and fear. It plunged the community into a state of shock and disbelief. How could a routine traffic stop escalate into such violence? In the aftermath of the shootout, chaos reigned. The scene was a flurry of activity, with flashing lights illuminating the night and sirens piercing the air. Officers scrambled to secure the area, while emergency responders worked tirelessly to tend to the wounded. Paramedics rushed to Officer Rivera's aid as police secured the scene. The urgency was palpable, with every second counting in the race to save his life. The paramedics worked with precision and speed, stabilizing him for transport. The injured officer was transported to John Peter Smith Hospital in critical condition. The ambulance sped through the streets, its siren wailing, as medical personnel inside fought to keep him alive. Upon arrival, he was swiftly wheeled into the emergency room. He immediately underwent emergency surgery. The medical team, a well-oiled machine, worked through the night, their focus unwavering. Every effort was made to repair the damage and stabilize Officer Rivera. Jones, also injured in the exchange of gunfire, was apprehended and taken into custody. His arrest brought a sense of relief to the officers on the scene, but the gravity of the situation was far from over. As news of the incident spread, the community of Fort Worth rallied around Officer Rivera and his family. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers came together, united in their support and concern. Vigils were held, prayers were offered, and messages of support poured in from across the state and beyond. The community's response was overwhelming, with candlelight vigils illuminating the night and heartfelt messages displayed on signs and banners. The outpouring of love and concern for the wounded officer was a testament to the deep respect and appreciation the community had for its law enforcement. People hugged each other, shared stories, and expressed their gratitude for the officers who put their lives on the line every day. However, the incident also ignited a wave of fear and anger. The community was shaken, and questions arose about the safety and security of their city. Tensions ran high as residents grappled with the reality of the violence that had erupted in their midst. Residents questioned how such a tragedy could occur in their city. Community meetings were held, discussions were had, and news reporters interviewed concerned citizens. The incident left an indelible mark on Fort Worth, sparking a dialogue about the need for change and the importance of community solidarity. Section 5. Searching for answers. The investigation into the incident is ongoing. The Texas Rangers, the state's primary criminal investigative agency, have taken the lead. They are piecing together the events that led to the shooting. The focus is on understanding what prompted Jones to flee from the initial traffic stop and then open fire on the officers. The investigation will be thorough and impartial. The goal is to provide answers and accountability. However, the investigation, while crucial, will not erase the pain and trauma inflicted on the community. The incident has left many shaken and fearful, questioning their safety in their own city. Section 6. A community in fear. The shooting of Officer Rivera has shaken the Fort Worth community to its core. Residents are grappling with fear, anger, and a sense of vulnerability. The incident has fueled concerns about rising crime rates and the dangers faced by law enforcement officers every day. Community leaders and residents alike are calling for action. They demand solutions to address the root causes of violence and improve relations between law enforcement and the communities they serve. The shooting has sparked a conversation, a difficult but necessary dialogue about police brutality, systemic racism, and the need for meaningful change. Section 7. Beyond the headlines. The tragic incident in Fort Worth is not an isolated event. It reflects a larger national crisis, a breakdown of trust between law enforcement and the communities they are sworn to protect and serve. This incident highlights the urgent need for comprehensive reform, for a multifaceted approach that addresses the root causes of violence and promotes healing and understanding. The conversation must go beyond the headlines, beyond the immediate shock and outrage. It needs to delve into the complex issues of poverty, lack of opportunity, mental health, and systemic racism that contribute to the cycle of violence. Section 8. Bridging the divide. Building trust and bridging the divide between law enforcement and communities requires a multi-pronged approach. It demands transparency, accountability, and a genuine commitment to dialogue and understanding. Law enforcement agencies must prioritize de-escalation techniques, cultural sensitivity training, and community outreach programs. Equally important is the need to address the social and economic disparities that disproportionately impact marginalized communities. Investing in education, job training, affordable housing, and mental health resources is not just a matter of social justice. It is crucial to breaking the cycle of violence and building safer, more equitable communities. Section 9. A call for change. The shooting of Officer Rivera is a tragedy, a stark reminder of the human cost of violence. It is a call for action, a call for unity, and a call for change. We must come together as a community, as a nation, to address the root causes of violence and build a future where tragedies like this are not the norm, but distant memories. The path forward will not be easy. It will require difficult conversations, uncomfortable truths, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. But the pursuit of peace and justice demands nothing less. Let us honor Officer Rivera's sacrifice by working together to create a safer, more just, and equitable society for all.